What's going on, people? This is Soul Man 72, and I hope everyone is doing well. I know it's been a while since I uploaded a podcast. I've been dealing with work and life, adult things. But as usual, I'm just going to hop right into it, people. I just like getting to the real. And hopefully my words will inspire you. I hope my words will help you think. I hope my words are thought-provoking. And if I offend anybody, I'm sorry. So, for those of you who know me personally, April 5th, I lost my mother. Now, her and I had a very strained relationship. I never hated my mom. I've always loved my mother. But, there's certain things happen in life where, there's a disconnect in the lack of proper communication and, when adults just choose not to speak for whatever reason that might be. I was very hurt, and I felt empty when I lost my mom on April 5th. That's not a call that I really expected. I wasn't ready for it. It really triggered some of my anger issues. I'm still grieving, because I haven't spoken to my mom on the phone in maybe 3 years. She might have sent me a text, I might have responded, but her and I did not have an in-depth discussion about what our issues were. And as much as I love my mom, I had to really I sat back and I thought about it, and I realized that I never got to speak to my mother again. I never got to kiss my mom on the cheek again. I never got to touch my mother's skin again. I never got to hug my mom again. And it taught me a very, very valuable lesson from that day. I'm a firm believer in anything can be fixed. You know what I mean? Anything can be fixed. If you love someone internally, unconditionally, and with respect, because I honor my mom and I honor women, period. Women are the nurturers of life. Women are the vessel. They carry us into becoming men, kings, presidents, governors, astronauts, lawyers, accountants. And I really had a lot of time to think, man. And up until now, I don't think I've really dealt with my mother's death. I've been managing it. I've been, going to work every day and doing what I'm supposed to do, and conducting myself in a professional manner. But I don't think I've cried once. That's how hurt I am that I lost my mom. You know what I mean? And when I look at her picture sometime, I scroll through some of the pictures on my phone, and I just realize how much I resemble this woman. We have the same cheekbones, we have the same nose, we have the same lips. She's the reason behind she's the reason why I have a sense of fashion. And one of my mother's favorite colors was burgundy and maroon, and I wear that to this day. And if anybody that's listening to this podcast, if you knew my mom personally, my mom loved a well-dressed man. And when I get dressed sometime, I think about, what would my mom say if she saw me dressed? What would she say? I remember years ago, I was going through a very bad breakup. I was engaged years ago, this is like 98. And I was engaged, and me and the young lady that I was engaged to, we had broke up. It was a very damaging, I wouldn't say damaging, let me correct that. It was a very bad breakup. But anyway, my fiance and I decided to meet up, and we haven't seen each other in a while. She had moved out, so I told my mom what I was going to do, and she said, "Boy, you better look good when you go see that woman." So I got my best clothing on. I had some shoes from Tom McCann, and I had a nice little button-up shirt. I went to go check her out, man. And my mom was like, "Yo, did you look good, boy?" I said, "Yes, Mom, I was looking good." But that's just a little small story. But yeah, man, so I'm going to reach out and say, I'm going to reach out to people. If you have an issue, and everybody's issues are different. There's different levels to this thing. I'm only speaking from my personal experiences. Everybody has a different experience. But you know what, man? I really wish that I have taken the time to reach out to my mom, man. Because I was so caught up in, my daily life and upset on whatever I was upset about. I won't reveal what I was upset about because that's a little personal to me right now. But I really wish that I had this went to go see my mom, man. I never got to see her again alive. The last time I saw my mom was at my father's funeral, and that was very uncomfortable because at that time her and I needed to have a discussion, but neither one of us wanted to take that step. Could have been ego on my part, could have been pride on her part, or vice versa. I can honestly say I've never been a man who's ever disrespected my mother. I'm one of those guys that I've learned to control my words, because I know words are very powerful, and you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful on what you say when you're angry. Because words affect people. Words can travel, man. Words can travel through a person's spirit, mind, and I'm one of those guys, man. I always tell people, man, be very careful on what you say to me when you're angry. I'd rather you take 5 minutes and go off into a corner, or if you say, "Hey, brother Glover, man, soul man, brother, I gotta come holler at you about something, man. I was uneasy about what you said, and I need some clarification of what you meant." And I've done that on a number of occasions. And I would tell any child, any adult, I would really reach out to any adult, male, female, son, daughter, grandfather, grandmama, auntie, uncles, cousins. Do not wait until there's a funeral to want to reach out to someone who you can no longer speak to again. It's not a good feeling, man. It's really not, man. And I'm praying that my daughter and I never have this issue. I'm praying that I hope her and I never get to that level where my daughter cannot speak to me. My beautiful child is 28 years old, and my daughter is a grown woman, and she's listened to my podcast before, and when this gets uploaded, I'm sure I will get some feedback from her when she hears this, because I value my daughter's opinion. Her opinion means a lot to me as a father, as a 46-year-old father. It's very important, man. I believe, we don't give the art of communication credit that it's due. I'm one of those guys, again, what I meant to say earlier was, when you're angry, you really have to take a chill pill. That's what we used to say back in the days, man. Take a chill pill, man, because you can say some things that might hurt somebody, man. You don't know. I remember when I was younger, in my rebellious days, and I would have to catch myself, and if I was dating a woman, and I would just be so obnoxious and uncaring to her feelings and the things I would say, man. And I'm like, I think back now, I'm like, damn, brother, you said that? You know what I mean? And some women forgave me and some women didn't. And that's just something I have to deal with because I didn't monitor what was coming out of my mouth. But again, like I said, that was a long time ago, man. I've learned to, like, you know what? You know, I had a very good friend of mine, maybe 2.5 years ago, maybe 1.5 years ago. We were real cool. We never got to the point of dating, but we were very interested in one another. And I won't state what she said in the email, but, you know, she had some very disturbing words to say to me via email, and she got some wrong information, and she felt that I was the one who instigated it, or I'm the one who brought it into existence, which I didn't. And she never got to understand that, and I never got a chance to explain to her that it wasn't me who did it. But going back again to the email that she wrote me, it was a very long paragraph, and I read every line, and I'm reading the words, and I'm like, this is not the person I know. And if this person is speaking to me this way, then this person really doesn't know who I am, because I'm very serious about what people entrust in me. And I'm very serious about that. And it really hurt me because I cared about this woman just as an individual. You know, she was good people, and her and I were good, man. And it all ended because, you know, she felt that I did something that I didn't do. But I'm just going back to her choice of words when she was angry. And I'm like, I was hurt because it's not part of my character, man. I don't do stuff like that. I don't meddle in people's business and start gossip and things of that nature. Now, if in the future we connect, we will. If we don't, we don't. But you know, again, I will say, man, to any one of my friends and loved ones, families, cousins, uncles, man, we gotta be very careful how we talk to one another, especially family. You know, I know they said blood is thicker than water, but I like to say loyalty is stronger than all of that. So when when you got some close partners, and you know, you got your brothers and your sisters, and you know, there's a conflict within the family, you know, there's a way you can deal with it without being verbally disrespectful. Because a young lady that I met some years ago, she made this comment, and she said to me, watch the tone in which you speak. And I've carried that with me for almost 15 years now. You know what I mean? You know, maturing is an ongoing process. So I've had to learn to really curb my words and how I articulate myself when I'm trying to explain myself, whether I'm upset or in a bad mood, because people take what you say literally, you know. And yeah, man. So going back to the topic that I'm on right now, it's I really wish I got to speak to my mom again, man. You know, I miss her. I never got to touch her skin again. I never got to say I love you. You know, and if I did anything wrong to my mother, I never got the chance to say I was sorry. Whatever she might have been upset with me about. You know, I said, I have my issues, and I won't reveal that right now. For those who know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna wrap this up by saying, if you love someone and if you made a mistake, be man or woman enough to say that I'm sorry. That's all you can do. You have to really stand up like a man and a woman, like we claim to be, and think about how we treat one another and how we talk to one another. And you know, because within the family there's so much conflict and ego and lack of respect. Not all families, but some, where people don't get a chance to say I'm sorry. And then you're sitting there at a funeral, at a wake, and you're looking at this person that you had an issue with, and you never got the chance to clear things up. Now, for me, I was fortunate enough to, My grandmother died, over 10 years ago, I believe. I got a chance to tell grandma I was sorry, or not even say sorry. I've gotten my last bit of wisdom from our matriarch, is what they called my grandmother, and I was able to talk with her and kiss her and hug her. And my grandmother's last words to me were, "Baby, I don't have nothing else, man. Grandma's giving you all I've got. So you got to go out there and be a man, and you got to go out there and do your best, and just stand up and be a man." My stepmom passed away not too long after, and she's always had kind words for me, words of encouragement. I was able to talk to her before she passed away, and she's always wanted the best for me, and always wanted me to stand on my own, and always wanted me to just be successful. She was one of my greatest cheerleaders when she saw me on my entrepreneurial journey. And and then my dad died 3 years ago, and my father and I got real close. Within the last 10 years, he and I have really connected. He became my brother first, then for some reason he became my dad, because he and I bonded just by communicating on a regular basis. And then my dad and I got very spiritual, and my father would quote different scriptures to me out of the Bible, and he would indicate to me, he would talk to me on what kind of man he wanted me to be. And one of the things my dad always taught me is, go with your gut, boy. Let's listen to your father, man. I know what I'm talking about. I've been out here. And some of the knowledge my father used to drop on me, man, was amazing. And just looking in my dad's eyes, and I looked in that man's eyes, and the tone of his voice, I knew this man loved me. So I was very honored and blessed to be able to sit down with a man that loves me. He's my dad, man. I carry his last name. I walk with my last name with honor. I walk with my head high because my father instilled something in me, another level. Due to popular belief, a lot of people believe when you get of a certain age, you become a man. And what a lot of people don't understand is different levels to this grown man business. Is anybody can pay a mortgage, anybody can pay rent, anybody can make a car payment. But there's different levels to becoming a man, and that's one of the things that my father taught me. I would go to my dad with some issue that I have, and I'll be all emotional, and my dad would just sit there, and he'd be like, "Well, this is what you're gonna have to do, and this is what you gotta do, this is what you gotta do, man." And my father I never heard a crack in his voice. My father was so assured that he was giving me the proper and correct information as a man. And he said, "Look, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but this is my advice. You're a man, you do what you want to do." Again, I carried that with me, man. And then, April 5th, 2018, I got a call at about 10:30 in the morning, maybe 10:45, from my eldest brother, and informing me that my mom died. And I just looked at the ground. I got out of the bed and I looked at my carpet. I'm like, nah, this gotta be a joke, man. Nah, this is not for real. They got the wrong woman. And then, listening to the tone of my brother's voice, I knew this is the real deal, man. I lost my mom, and the first thing that I thought about was I never got to speak to my mom again. I never hugged her again. I never kissed my mom again. The next time I saw my mom she was in a casket. She was in a casket, man. And I wouldn't want that for anybody that I care about. Any one of my close friends. People I talk to every day, man. People who I know love their parents. It's painful, man. It's something that I'm gonna have to deal with for the rest of my life. And I'm kind of glad I handled it properly, because my daughter is a very wise woman, very stern, she's strong. My daughter's a very serious type of person, and I was glad that I acted accordingly, because I know my daughter watches me and how I'm going to conduct myself and what choices and decisions that I'm going to make. So I was glad that I was able to honor my mom in her passing. I was blessed to know that I didn't have any anger, any hurt. No, I was hurt. I'm sorry. I was hurt. There wasn't no anger. The term I meant to use is I wasn't bitter. I wasn't bitter at all. Yeah. Anyway, people, man, I'm just going to wrap this up by saying, talk to your family, man. If you love your family, talk to your family. If you don't, then just leave them be. But I suggest that if you love someone and you want them in your life and you want them to stay in your life, reach out to them, man. With all this modern technology that we have today, we got texting, we got WhatsApp, we got FaceTime, we got Facebook, we got all type of ways you can communicate with people. We got all type of ways we can reach out to people. So there's no reason why we can't reach out to one another. So I'm going to end this again by saying, I know I keep saying that, but reach out to somebody if you love them, man. If you're missing somebody, call them, text them, meet them for coffee, meet them for lunch. You know what I mean? And if there's something that needs to be spoken about, find the words to articulate what you want to say so you don't offend that person. You want this person to understand that where you're coming from. You want them to understand. So that discussion doesn't have to come up again. You can move on and level up a little bit. As I stated earlier, there's levels to this grown man business. You know what I mean? Men don't become men overnight. Men become men through trial and error and making mistakes and making strides and striving for greatness. I used to say strive for perfection, but now I say strive for greatness because there's no one that's perfect. So once again, I want to thank everyone who's been subscribing to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, please like it, please leave some comments, and I would love to hear your feedback. It really means a lot, man. And once again, I love you all. I love my brothers, I love my sisters, and I love my closest friends. Stay cool, God bless, and be easy, people. Everything is everything, man. Peace.